Hi guys, this is Lizzie again, and today I have one of the saddest news ever. Is Australia becoming the hardest country? Yesterday we had the biggest announcement from the immigration minister, and they are reforming the immigration laws and rules of certain things on how they're going to do things. So yeah, this is what we'll be talking today about. It is saddening for some of the people who've already been looking forward to move here, and anyway, it is really sad.
So instead of pretending that some students are here to study when they are actually here to work, we need to look at creating proper, capped, safe, tripartite pathways for workers in key sectors such as care. Not only would this provide better support for those industries, it would provide far greater protections for the workers that we depend on. We will propose to reform the way we determine which temporary migrants end up as permanent residents and ultimately citizens. And a critical change here is how we design what is called the points test. Now, this may sound a little bit boring and technical, but it is absolutely crucial. Every year, our country selects roughly 100,000 permanent residents using the points test. By 2050, it is possible that we will have millions of additional people here who have been selected using this test, but the current test is not working properly. The bar is set too low, and today the points test rewards persistence, not the skills we need for Australia's future. Getting that points test right could add tens of billions of dollars to the federal budget over the coming decades and make a real difference to economic growth in our country. And Australia needs to enter the competition for global talent. We need to make a big switch in our thinking from the passivity that drives the system today to active engagement with the people we think can help build our country's future. We propose creating a new area in the Home
I know. Let me have a seat. So, my name is Lizzie. As I said, I live in Australia. I came here as a student some times back. And today, when I sit here as someone who looks back on the transformation of a person that I have become today. Again, here in my channel, we talk about Australia and the good things and how to move here to Australia and just any other information that you would ever want to know regarding Australia. Disclaimer, I am not an immigration lawyer. Anything I tell you guys here, you need to go and do more research and just to get sure that you are up to date with what is happening. So guys, let's start this. Before we continue, if you're new here, welcome again. So what are we even talking about today? Wow. So the big announcement came yesterday, and so many people have been ringing me and asking me, Lizzie, what do you think is going to happen? What do you know about, they just announced? I know, I heard, I was told, I read, I listened to the conversation. I was like, oh wow, this is big. So guys, immigration has eventually decided to have a transformation. This is something that they have never done before. It is a big one, and it's going to affect more of us who are moving here on student visa, on work visa, on talent or whatever visas, any sort of visa. So it is big, but I'll be focusing on the changes that they announced, and I'm just here to let you know what is going on. Just to let you know that whatever I'm telling you, this is just what they announced, and they haven't passed the legislation of it yet, but definitely this is what maybe we'll be looking into when it comes to July 1st. All right, so let's start here. What is the change? Number one, with me is my computer. So whenever you see me looking down, just know I'm on my computer because I'm just trying to catch up with everything. There's a lot, there's a lot. So for student visa, who've moved here, and I know some of you, before you apply to the PR, before you get into the application for the permanent residency here in Australia, there are various ways. I know I've discussed about this in my previous video. You can just go and check what has been happening previously or what is happening currently, because yeah, the rules are not yet up to date. So we have been having different various way of applying for permanent residency here in Australia. One of them is through point calculation check. For instance, some people, if for 189 or 190, no, 189 to be precise, you would calculate your points to 65 points and above if you're living here in South Australia. And then that means if you're at 65 points, you will go ahead and send your interest to be invited by the immigration. So what happens after that, they will send you the invite, and then you can just apply for the PR if you're among the skilled occupation listed courses that they had put across. So what is going to happen? One of the things is they are coming up with other ways of reforming the calculation point. So I think we're not going to be using the previous or the older way of how we've been doing things, using the calculation of your age and So things are going to change. You remember the skilled occupation list where we could check if you're eligible to apply for the permanent residency? So yeah, again, that one is going to be reformed. We don't have so much information about all these yet, because this was just an announcement. We are waiting to see how we go, and from here what transpires. Okay, so the skilled occupation list is something else that they're also talking about, and probably these will be eliminated, and they're coming up with other different ways of I think it's like a sort of they're tightening things. Yeah, because they say that the immigration rules are really easy and simple for just anyone. It's not testing for credibility and integrity. So they are looking for other ways of making things, I feel like, maybe even harder. So yes, the SOL list could come to an end. The calculator points, maybe this is its end. The TISMA will also go up from $53,900 to $70,000. So if you have moved here to Australia and you've applied for 491 visa, and those ones who are in 482 visas, you are required to have a minimum of your earnings of 53,900 for a certain period of time, maybe 3 years, and then after that 3 years you can apply for your permanent residency. But what is happening? So they have increased your total earning to 70,000. So instead of 53,900,000, they have now increased to 70,000. So you can imagine how this looks like for people who are maybe working in other sector where they don't get paid so much. It will be really hard for some people to raise that 70,000 in various visas in certain occupation, because some people are not paid really a lot or well. So that is one thing that has really gone off. We don't understand. So another thing is skilled workers in short stream 482 visa holders will be given a pathway to permanent residency. So with the 482 visas, when you move here to work, you're being sponsored to come here and work. So one thing that was not happening previously is with the 482, whenever you are on short-term stream, you were never given a chance to apply for permanent residency. So from December this year, there's a potential that you guys will be able to apply for PR if you meet the requirement that they're going to give to us. What else? Temporary visa is broken into 3 streams. Oh my goodness, that is just another thing. Reforming skill occupation list, I think I just mentioned that. The point test that I mentioned that. And then international education will target more of the graduates. So what they mean about this is they want to empower our education here in Australia, in that I feel like maybe they are not going to regard so much about the international qualification. So maybe this is that time that is going to be very hard for some people to move here from overseas, or even we don't understand, because some people have already attained a bachelor's in their country. So what does that really mean? We still do not know. Anyway, yeah, regional Australias and visas. So for people who live in regional Australia, like where I live is the great regional Australia, but there are people who are living in the interior part, so where it is more of the remote in Australia. So what are they talking about? Improving the amenities, the infrastructure, the hospital, and just making it life more bearable and attractive for more people to move there. We don't know how long that will take, but this is what they are just talking about. Another thing is they're talking about the businesses and investment visas. So they've come up with a way of attracting and regulating the people who are moving to Australia to do business. Guys, whew, I know. You know, previously, we were always waiting for July 1st, and we'll get like 1-2 announcement from immigration, but now we have like 11 new announcements. This is crazy. It is ridiculous. I've never seen something like this. So yeah, if you're looking forward to moving here for business and to invest here in Australia, things could look tough, but it could be more better. They're putting more integrity on our application so that they make sure whenever anyone is coming to Australia, they're coming here to do whatever brought them here. Oh my goodness, yes. Global talent visas reform and making it to function. Yeah, the global talent, they want to come up with a way of initiating this visa in a way that it will function. I don't know how, because they have not given too much information about it. So these are among the things that they mentioned yesterday. I know they have also talked about getting rid of the GTE, you know, the one that you need to write to the immigration and tell them how genuine you are when you're applying to their visa. I don't know how they're going to determine the credibility of an applicant. I don't know until now how they're going to deny some people visa, because this is what they use to determine if they will grant you a visa or not. Until now, I don't know. I know it looks really funny, but to be honest, things are really becoming so hard. For people who are already here, I would ask you to make sure that you get the good and the most relevant information that you need before you just go and apply for anything. For those who've already applied for the 491 and other visas, and the restriction are changing, you will just need to make sure that you comply with everything, because until now we don't know what will happen. I don't know how it is gonna look like for the people working in a given field, and they cannot raise, you know, that 70,000 in a year. I really don't know. So let's wait and see. We are still just here, hanging here and waiting, as they say that they want to make sure that whenever students are moving to Australia, they're genuine. Whenever people are moving to Australia, they're genuine and have pure intention and are credible for whatever the reason that brought them here. So I also feel like, so many people are applying for permanent residency, and now they want to put the things a little bit more tighter, so that they make sure that for the people who genuinely qualify for it, it was worth it or whatever. I trust me, I'm so confused. Anyway, guys, let's wait and see. But what I will tell you, if maybe you are still in overseas and you want to move here, it will be really good if you did your application before then. If you got your visa grant before July 1st, that would be so nice, because we don't know what they're coming up with. Maybe it could be another time that now they're asking about the parents to provide bank statement. Maybe they'll be following up, because I was just trying to think and, just brainstorming my head and trying to think, how will this work? Maybe this is the time they will start calling universities of where you studied, just to make sure that you honestly went to school, to the certificate, in the certificate that you provided to them, they're genuine. Maybe this is the time they want to follow all the things that you provided to make sure that they're true. Because if they're not going to use the GTE, then how are they going to deny someone visa? Maybe they are going to put more pressure on the other end. So guys, try as much as possible to apply for your visa as soon as possible. So in like 1 month's time, you already have your visa, so that you don't get into a caught up situation where you do not know what to do. Because to be honest, things are just off the radar. It is not how we expected. It is not like the great news we are always thinking about. It is quite tough. Last year and previous year, it was exciting because the COVID and all stuff, whereby most of the regulations and law were relaxed for the sake of developing Australia. But now we are getting better. Now things are going to be more tighter. You need to make sure you chase your paperwork right now. If this is you, maybe you're sitting there, you want to come to study here, maybe next year, you need to be psychologically, mentally prepared of the new change, because we do not know how this is going to affect you. Is that time maybe to also explore other options? Who knows? Maybe it is that time to also start thinking wider, trying to check more other options that maybe you can explore. Maybe it is that time. Until July 1st, let's wait and see how things will look like. Again, guys, just a simple advice. If you're a student and you're already here in Australia, try and make sure that you're complying with these rules, because the way the Minister of Migration was talking, I feel like things are going to be very tight for all of us. I don't know. If they come up with some of the rules that will be, make sure you just comply, because I feel like it is that time that they need to ensure that people who come here are genuine, because that is what she said. I'm going to attach a video here of some of the word that the Minister of Immigration talked about, so that you can also hear from their mouth, just to understand what I'm talking about. Guys, if they also relax the working hours as we've had, all the best. But if something is coming up and then we are required to work maybe 30 hours or maybe 27 hours a week, it's until then we can tell. Until then, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'm so stressed because I know this is not a good time. It is not that time where we want to sit and make a laughter, because things are going wrong. But anyway, if you're here, make sure you get an immigration lawyer to help you with your application, because I don't want most of you people to making wrong pathways to applying for wrong visas, because these will lead to even more mess. So if you are here in Australia and maybe you want to apply for something, make sure you consult, because now things are changing and we even don't know which or what is what. If you're in overseas, you don't know what course to do. Maybe you just completed your high school, make sure you're doing the right courses. Just don't move here to do any sort of course, because now there's no skilled occupation list. So how are we going to know? It is more of the credibility and integrity. Guys, make sure you do your research before you do anything about moving to Australia or staying here in Australia or applying for any visa. Make sure you are empowered here. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.